I cooked all the food by myself tonight. My daughter-in-law didn't do anything. I can't understand why Mike married this useless failure who can't do anything. Why would you say that? You're terrible. While I was getting shocked by what she said, all the relatives burst out laughing. What on earth are you talking about, Mom? My mother-in-law seemed to be confused. Actually, there was a reason why everybody was laughing. My mother-in-law was the only one who didn't know. My name is Macy. I'm 31 years old and I'm married. I got married when I was 27 years old and I got pregnant soon after. I have a 4-year-old daughter and she goes to kindergarten now. I live with my husband, who is a year older than me, and my daughter. Mommy, the food is delicious today. My daughter, Mia, said happily while she was eating dinner. Glad to hear that. I smiled and said, my hobby is cooking, and I usually prepare foods or try to find new recipes while my free time. I recently started working part-time as a housekeeper to make good use of my skills. When my daughter started attending kindergarten, I became able to work in the daytime and my life became fulfilled. Not only I can assist with living expenses by working, but also I love the feeling of being connected with people by doing something that I'm good at. I need to think of a recipe for the next housekeeping service, I thought, and took out my phone. Then, I saw the notification saying that I had 25 new text messages. I had a bad feeling. As I had anticipated, all the messages were from my mother-in-law. I've turned off the notification sound on my phone, so I only check my messages when I activate my screen. My in-laws live in a city nearby, and it takes 1.5 hours to get there by car. I wanted to keep a comfortable distance from my in-laws, and my husband showed understanding in it. But my mother-in-law kept saying to me, "Stop making excuses. Just come to help us. You're living on Mike's income. It's not possible for you to be occupied with your part-time job. When do you plan on coming to do the housework? Isn't Mia already in kindergarten? You must have a lot of free time. What are you doing at home? Mia talks too much just like you. I hope you'll have a boy next time." All the texts were these kind of depressing messages. Why does she have to send me the messages that will make me unhappy? I sighed and flopped onto the couch. Are you alright, Mommy? With a concerned look, my daughter glanced at my face. Then my husband came home. I'm back. I was overwhelmed by the large number of complaints that my mom sent me. Did she send them to you too, Macy? He asked me, but when he saw my exhausted face, he seemed to have understood. I knew that you got them too. You know that my mom is such a moody person, so don't worry about it too much. Okay. She has been asking me to help with the housework at her house, but their house is not that close, and I also have a job, so I guess it's difficult for me. You don't have to go. I'll tell her by myself too. If we lived closer, it would have been much worse. I haven't told my mother-in-law that I'm working as a housekeeper yet. I only told her that I have a part-time job. If I tell her the truth, I can easily imagine what she would say. Besides, I'm worried about another thing. My mother-in-law doesn't seem to have much love towards my daughter. It seems that she wanted to have a grandson instead. And she didn't even send gifts to Mia when she was born or entered kindergarten. Even if she is acting like that, she still wants me to do the housework for her. To be honest, I don't feel like helping her, even though she's the mother of my husband. Thanks, Mike. We have our own life. Wait me for a while. I'll warm up your food. After he came home, I started feeling better. I stood in the kitchen in high spirits and tried to forget about the messages I read earlier. But one day after a while, my husband talked to me hesitantly. Macy, I know you won't be happy, but I got a message about the annual dinner party on July weekend, and they're going to have it at my parents' house this year. Oh, really? Maybe they couldn't make a reservation at the restaurant in a hotel we usually use. I got it. To tell the truth, I prefer meeting the mean mother-in-law outside. She likes showing off, so she usually acts like a very caring person in front of other people. However, if we're going to have a family party at their house, It might be different, I thought. On the day of the party, "Good morning, Bev. Come here, Mia, and say hello to your grandma." "Come quickly." When we arrived at my in-law's house, my mother-in-law didn't even look at her granddaughter and said bluntly, "By the way, you and I are in charge of making the dinner today, so be prepared." She said to me with an evil smile. "Oh, is it? Okay. Bev, can I help you?" My brother-in-law's wife asked her, but she said, "It's okay. You should keep playing with Tommy." My mother-in-law adored her grandson, Tommy. "Mia, go and play with Tommy." "Yes, Tommy, Grandpa, let's play." "Glad to see you, Mia." My father-in-law picked her up while he was smiling happily. He loves his granddaughter, Mia. I was relieved when I saw my daughter playing happily. My mother-in-law and I went into the kitchen. "Please don't come to the kitchen while we're preparing," my mother-in-law reminded everyone. Why would she do that? I was suspicious of her, but I decided to focus on cooking. I'm confident in my cooking skills. People praise me at work, and I'm getting more and more businesses. I thought to myself and cheered up myself. My mother-in-law was watching me while me starting preparing. She was just watching me, and she didn't look like she was going to do something at all. "Oh my, you shouldn't do that. Don't you even know how to use the knives? That's so clumsy. Isn't that because you've been eating too much packed food? I know it's convenient, but you shouldn't do that." "Gosh, you don't even know the basic of seasoning? I feel bad for Mike. I wonder how bad the food is he's been given from you." She only complained and never helped me with cooking. I was feeling awkward, but I just said yes to her and tried to work efficiently. I know that my mother-in-law is hard to deal with. If I make her upset now, I don't know how it would affect my daughter and my husband. I decided to hold myself in for them. My mother-in-law kept complaining, but when she tasted the dish I cooked, she nodded approvingly. Good, maybe it suited her taste. I was relieved. "Thank you for waiting. The dinner's ready," she called out to relatives with a big smile on her face. I was so exhausted because I made all the food for 10 people and set them on the dishes all by myself. However, I tried to see things better by thinking that it was a challenge for me to improve my skills. "Wow, the plating is amazing. It looks like a dish from a fine restaurant. Can I take a picture?" The flavor is rich and it's so delicious. This can be served in the restaurant." "Wow, this is so good and fancy."
"Mommy, I want to have this at home too."
The relatives were all enjoying the food and it made me happy. I thought I could start a catering service for a large group. "You're right. This is really good. There are even some dishes which go well with drinks." Yes, I heard that you like drinking, and you prefer this kind of dish instead of a regular dinner. When I said that, "I'm glad that you're enjoying it. It makes all my effort worthwhile," my mother-in-law said in a louder voice and cut me off. What? She was just watching and complaining. I was stunned. "Wait, didn't you make this with Macy?" My father-in-law looked confused. "No, she didn't do anything. She was just watching and put them on the table after I made it." My mother-in-law said it shamelessly and continued. "I can't understand why Mike married this useless failure who can't do anything." This is too much. I knew that she was mean and she had a sharp tongue, but I found it hard to believe that she would make such a statement, especially after making me do all the work. I was speechless with anger. "What are you talking about?" At that moment, they burst out laughing. My husband, my husband's brother, his wife, and my husband's uncle were all laughing hard. "Did everyone hear that?" my husband asked his relatives while he was laughing. My in-laws were surprised. "Mom, stop joking around. Everybody knows that you didn't make this." He laughed so hard that he let out tears, and said while rubbing his eyes. What are you talking about? I made this all by myself. My mother-in-law yelled. It can't be. Maybe you didn't notice, but you have a really bad sense of taste, and you always make the same food. It's impossible for you to make this tasty dish all of a sudden. My husband said straightforwardly. That's right. I've eaten the food that you made before, but it didn't have a flavor. Macy has made me some food before, and it was just as good as the dinner tonight. I can tell that she made the dinner tonight. My father-in-law's brother agreed. Yeah, my mom's food is always dry and doesn't have a taste. I was disappointed when my mom told me that we were having dinner at her house tonight, but I ended up having amazing food. Thank you, Macy. My brother-in-law agreed as well. All the relatives said that the food she makes is not good. My mother-in-law lost face, and she pointed her anger to me. Hey, Macy, you never come and make a dinner for us, but you went to my brother-in-law's house and made dinner for him? What's up with that? She glared at me and blamed. I went to his house for my housekeeping service. His house is within my service area. I told her the truth. If you pay me the fee, I'll come to your house too. I said so even though I felt a little bit bad because she called me a failure earlier. What? Fee? You, a daughter-in-law, shouldn't say that. If you have time to do the housework for strangers, you should do it at your in-law's house and be useful. You should never ask for money from it. I knew that she would say something like this if she finds out that I'm working as a housekeeper. It was exactly the same as I had imagined. When she was yelling at me about something old-fashioned like this, my husband cited me. The reason why we can send you money is because Macy is making money with the housekeeping service. That's right. I've been sending half of my salary to her. What do you mean by sending us money? I don't know anything about it. What? Didn't you know about it? Mom told us that your salary had decreased and you can't pay for the loan for renovating the bathroom. She was begging, so Macy has been helping her. What? What did you tell them? My salary hasn't changed, and we don't have a loan from the renovation. What the hell did you use the money for, Bev? Being accused by my father-in-law, Bev turned pale. She looked down and didn't answer, so he said, You have asked me about stocks before. Did you use the money for that? She gasped. Actually... She started talking little by little. Actually, I tried to invest on the stocks, but I didn't do well, and I took a large loss. To cover it up, I asked Mike and Macy to send me some money. What? Why did you do that without telling me about it? He yelled. Mom, I didn't know that you had been lying to us. You didn't even try to get a job, and you just made us pay for it. Macy sent you the money she earned, and you call her useless? How did you dare do that? My husband couldn't hold back his anger and yelled. I'm sorry. She apologized in a very faint voice. You're apologizing to a wrong person. Macy, Mia, let's just go home, he said angrily, and he got us out of their house. On our way home, he said to me while he was driving, Macy, I'm so sorry that you had to go through a hard time because of my mom. You don't have to send her money anymore, okay? Seeing him apologizing while frowning, I couldn't help laughing. Okay, I'll stop sending then. My mother-in-law's words hurt me so much, but I was feeling a lot better by his words. A few days later, my father-in-law also called me to apologize as well. Macy, I'm so sorry about the other day. My wife was tricked by a guy who she met through a dating app and seems to have lost a lot of money. To cover that up, she tried to make money with the investment, and she failed. She wanted to hide it from me, but she didn't want to work either. That's why she lied to you guys and made you send her money. It was a dating app. It wasn't just a loss from the investment, but the real reason was worse. That made me speechless. However, what I heard next was even worse.
I always gave Bev some money for Mia, so she can give some gifts to Mia on her birthdays. However, it seems like she was using the money also for the guy. I'm really sorry for that.
Oh, really? I never knew that. I thought it was because you didn't like her. I didn't care so much about who gave the money to who and who didn't, but I was more shocked by the fact that she has been using the money for her granddaughter for herself.
I was disgusted by it. I only drink and eat some appetizers at home, so I didn't really notice that the food my wife cooks is bad. But I can't believe she had the nerve to speak to you in that manner.
He cleared his throat and said seriously,
I'm considering ending my marriage with her. After she gets kicked out of the house, she might go to your house thinking that you guys would help. So please be careful.
After this warning call from my father-in-law, we quickly made some arrangements for moving. We've been actually talking about moving for a while, and we're already interested in one house, so all we needed to do was sign in a contract.
We have to get away from my mom.
My husband was very serious. He was also shocked by the fact that his mother has been using the money for Mia for herself.
I have to protect my family.
He seemed to have made a decision. We signed the contract and asked them to do the things quickly, and we were able to move into our new house 2 weeks later. A few days later, my mother-in-law called my husband.
Hey, Mike, I'm here at your house, but when I rang the bell, a stranger answered the door. What's going on? You should have told me if you had moved. I'm your mother.
I heard her angry voice over his phone. The people from the management company must be coming and going at our old apartment. My husband replied calmly.
Yes, we moved. I didn't tell you because I have no intention to see you ever again. I don't want the mother who would trick and take the money from us to stay close to my family.
He said it clearly and ended the call. Mike, are you alright? After he hung up, he was sitting down on the couch with an exhausted face. I got worried and asked him, even if she is a horrible person, she's his mother, it's understandable.
Are you alright, Daddy?
Our daughter was worried as well, and she looked into his face.
I'm okay, sweetie. Come here, Mia,
he said and picked her up. Now that I don't have to send money to your mother, I can start saving money for Mia. I'm thinking about opening a bank account under her name, I said to him, trying to make it sound as cheerful as possible. I still can't forget what my mother-in-law said to me. Failure. Useless. Those mean words keeps coming back to my head out of nowhere, and it wrenches my heart. But it's okay. My husband understands my feeling, and I have something that I want to protect.
I'm going to make a new recipe for the job tomorrow.
Saying that, I stood up and headed to the kitchen.